They say, just one small positive thought in the morning can change your whole day. But most people hear that and think, can one thought really make a difference? It sounds too simple, right? Let me tell you a story about a man who learned just how powerful one small thought can be. It was a gray Monday morning, the kind that feels heavy before it even begins. Ethan sat on the edge of his bed staring at the floor. He'd lost his job 2 months ago. Bills were piling up, and he felt like life had closed all its doors on him. The alarm clock blinked 6:47 a.m., but he didn't want to move. He thought, what's the point? Every morning had felt the same for weeks, gray, slow, hopeless, until this one. That morning, as he reached for his phone, a quote popped up on the screen. It said, just one small positive thought in the morning can change your whole day. He almost scrolled past it, but something about it made him stop. Maybe it was the word small. It didn't ask for a miracle, just one small positive thought. So he whispered to himself almost jokingly, Ethan, all right, one small positive thought? Let's see. Then he said out loud, Ethan, maybe something good will happen today. Just that, a simple line, a tiny spark. Ethan made his coffee. It still tasted bitter, but his mind felt a little quieter. He looked out the window and noticed a small bird hopping across the balcony rail. It sang like it had no care in the world, and Ethan smiled for the first time in weeks. That smile led him to open his laptop, not for job hunting this time, but to finish a design project he'd abandoned when he lost his confidence. As he worked, he thought, maybe this is something I can still do. A few hours later, he sent the design to a local business owner he knew. He didn't expect anything, but he sent it anyway. That afternoon, his phone rang. It was the business owner. He said, hey, Ethan, this is really good. Can you make a few more? I'll pay you for them. It wasn't a full-time job, but it was something. And it started because of one small thought that morning. Maybe something good will happen today. Days passed, and Ethan kept that morning ritual alive. Every morning before touching his phone or worrying about the future, he paused and thought, something good is going to happen today. Some days nothing spectacular happened, but he noticed something. When he started his day with that single thought, everything felt lighter. He spoke kinder to people. He noticed small moments of beauty, the sunrise, a smile, the smell of coffee. And when tough moments came, he handled them better. One small positive thought didn't magically fix his problems, but it changed how he faced them. It shifted his energy from despair to possibility. One morning, Ethan went to a local cafe to work. There he met a young woman. She looked exhausted. Her startup was failing, and she was about to give up. Ethan remembered his own dark days, and he said to her, you know what helped me? I started each morning with just one small positive thought. It sounds silly, but it works. She smiled weakly, but listened. A few weeks later, he saw her again. This time she was smiling. Her business was still small, but she said things were turning around. She told him, that thing you said, I tried it. It made me believe again. Ethan realized then, positivity spreads. One small thought can change not just your day, but someone else's too. Months later, Ethan was doing freelance work full-time. He wasn't rich, but he was fulfilled. He'd learned something powerful. Happiness doesn't begin with success. It begins with how you think in the morning. He often thought back to that one gray morning, the heaviness, the random quote, the spark of a thought. That single moment changed his direction, not because it was magic, but because he believed in it for just one moment. That belief grew into action, action turned into progress, and progress became purpose. Every morning gives us two choices: to carry yesterday's burdens or to plant one small seed of hope. That seed doesn't have to be grand. It could be a thought like, "Today I'll do my best." "Someone out there needs my smile." "Things can get better." These thoughts are small, but they're powerful. Because the first thing you think in the morning often decides the kind of energy you'll carry all day. When you wake up and think, "This day's going to be terrible," your body follows. You move slower. You notice the bad more than the good. But when you wake up and think, "I'm grateful to be alive," suddenly even the little things feel different. That's not luck. That's mindset. Imagine if everyone started their morning with one good thought. Not fake optimism, but real, quiet faith. Imagine the ripple it could create. A parent who smiles at their child before work. A stranger who lets someone go first in line. A teacher who inspires a student to believe in themselves. A worker who gives their best effort, not because they have to, but because they want to. All from one thought. Ethan's story is simple, but that's what makes it powerful. Greatness often begins in the smallest places, inside the mind, in the first few minutes after waking up. So, when you wake up tomorrow morning, don't rush to the noise of the world. Before the messages, before the stress, pause, take one deep breath, and choose one small positive thought. It could be, "I'm thankful for this new day." "I'll find something beautiful today." "I can handle what comes my way." You never know what that thought might lead to. It might not change the world in an instant, but it might change your mood, your choices, your attitude, and eventually, your life. Because every great day, every comeback story, every act of courage starts with a single thought that says, "Maybe today will be better." So hold that thought close, guard it like a spark, feed it with kindness, gratitude, and patience. And soon you'll see that little spark light up your whole world. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who might need a little light today. Because sometimes all it takes is one small positive thought to start a chain of hope in someone else's life. And maybe, just maybe, that chain begins with you.